Liquid windows could be the answer to more sustainable buildings. Researchers from the University of Toronto. Oh, is that why you put that in there? Shout out Toronto. Local. Built a prototype window that lets you control the intensity, color, and dispersion of sunlight using nothing but water and a pumping system. Are you trying to water cool your apartment? Is that what's going on these days?
I would like to keep it cool, especially during the summer.
That'd be nice. Put a little filter on there, have it come through the water. You feel like you're in an aquarium.
Yeah, I'm just swimming in there.
What movie was I watching? I was watching that Wakanda one, and they're all on living under the ocean.
Oh, okay.
You ever notice that in a movie when they go underwater, everyone's so happy and peaceful, not having to deal with all the crap that's happening on the surface? You ever notice that?
Yeah.
It happened in Star Wars. They're like, oh, wow, these people got it right. They're doing so well. And then obviously some beef ensues, and then everything gets destroyed. And I mean, it's your typical thing, but it's always like the underwater ones have it not like what is that? Our obsession with that? Do we feel like sea creatures? Do we admire them? Do we feel like they get along better or something? Like, what is that about? Or do we long for a time from an evolutionary perspective where our far off ancestors were swimming around bathing apes? Bathing apes. Windows on their own are helpless. If you want to reduce how much light or heat comes into your home or office on a clammy summer day, you have no choice but to call in reinforcements like shutter shades, blinds, drapes, or even worse, air conditioning. This happens because typical windows are made up of an air gap sandwiched between two solid panes of glass, and both materials, if we can even call it air and material, they're rigid. But what if that gap was filled with paper-thin layer of water instead? All of a sudden, you'd have a malleable material that can reflect and refract light. You could color it and mix it with an array of molecules and particles. It can scatter light, absorb heat, and dictate how much of either gets to pass through. Yeah, man. Shutters, drapes, blinds, they're goofy and old-fashioned. The hell are we doing with all that? I want to hit a switch, and all of a sudden, I got red light coming in, or green light, or blue light, or less light, or more light. Just a button. Now, I guess you probably couldn't do like a straight up blackout, or you would need some pretty hefty dye or ink. I'm thinking it's going to be just more of a tint. But on the energy saving side,
yeah.
But you know, the tough part about that conversation, this is going to cost you $1 billion in the first place.
I would imagine.
And you're like, I could have cooled my whole neighborhood for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
But instead, I'm putting in these water windows
for like 1% of the cost.
Listen. But they do enough of it, they get enough interest, the investment comes, economies of scale will, and next thing you know, that's the future of Windows.